What is up, Nerf Nation? I'm Naptown Nerf, and this is my top 5 Nerf pistols. Okay, you guys, so these are all Nerf branded pistols. If you're new to my channel, I am a Nerf modder, so moddability is very important to me, so keep that in mind. Some of these are actually very good stock though, so I will try to let you know which ones are good stock if you are not a modder and are interested in that information. It was very difficult narrowing down the pistols to my 5 favorites. The top 4 are pretty clear cut for me, but that number 5 spot was very difficult, and I went with the Nerf Cyclone Shock. Now, the Nerf Cyclone Shock is just a sweet looking pistol. It is large and in charge. It's got a lot of power. Even when shooting those large mega darts like this, it would shoot these pretty darn far, even in stock form. Now, this thing can easily be turned into a elite dart firing pistol by rebarreling the cylinders with some CPVC or even a worker kit or something like that if you want to go the easy route. So this thing can be turned into something that can shoot even harder just by changing the ammo type. Now, you can also buy a 3D printed cylinder and turn this into a shotgun. There's a few people that have made shotgun cylinders for this, so it would shoot 3 elite darts instead of 1 mega dart. There are quite a few shell modifications you'd have to do to make it work, but that is definitely a cool option with this blaster. Now, this blaster is actually what got me back into the Nerf hobby, so it kind of holds a special spot in my heart. This is actually the very first blaster I modified. So that's kind of why it made it into that top 5 spot, because it just holds a special place in my heart. This thing is great. Really, the only downside is its size. It is very large and a little bit hard to holster. Possible, but just not as easy as some of the others on the list. So this is my number 5 blaster. Let's move on to number 4. So funny enough, the number 4 blaster is also a Nerf Mega blaster, and it is the Nerf Mega Hot Shock. Now, this blaster is much smaller than the Cyclone Shock, but still can pack quite a bit of punch when modified. Now, this isn't quite as good in stock form, but still not terrible for a single shot pistol. Probably shoots about 60 FPS. Does have a place to hold 1 extra round on top there, so that's kind of neat. Has a pretty darn good grip. I love the comfort of it. The size is great. It is very easy to holster. This is a holster I use for actually quite a few blasters. This is actually a holster I found on Amazon, and it works pretty darn well for the Hot Shock here. As you can see, fits in there very nicely and snug. Works very, very well. So that is a big, big bonus to me, because it will fit on my tactical rig when I'm running in a war. So this will work, at least in stock form, in the holster. Now, if you want to make this super powerful, I've done that with a mod guide. If you want to see how this can be turned into a complete powerhouse and shoot over 170 FPS, check it out in the link above here. But I will show you that real quick, and you can turn it into something like this. Now, I have increased the plunger volume by moving the plunger farther forward and rebarreled it for brass. Now, this will also actually shoot rival rounds, so that's pretty cool, but really does well shooting elite darts or half-length darts. So you can put those in here, put the barrel in, prime it, and shoot this really, really hard. So definitely check out the mod guide if you're interested in making something like this. So the Hot Shock is my number 4 pistol. Let's move on to number 3. So my number 3 pistol is the Nerf Hammer Shot. And this is not in stock form, but is definitely a pretty good pistol for certain game types in stock form, like HVZ. This is probably the best HVZ pistol in my opinion, because of the size, the ability to hold up to 8 rounds if you replace the cylinder, but even 5 is pretty good, and it being able to be used one-handed. So this is definitely a unique and cool pistol. Can shoot pretty darn hard when modified. Probably getting up to 80, 85 FPS max. Can't quite get the FPS of the Hot Shock or blasters in that mold, but given the fact that this is one-hand primable, I think 85 is pretty good for an HVZ style game anyways. Now, if you're playing PvP, this is probably not my favorite pistol, and that's why it's only number 3, but definitely a cool pistol, one of my favorites, and definitely deserving of number 3. Now, if you want something in a little different form factor, a little sleeker, the Rebel Sweet Revenge may be your ticket. Basically, you can do all the same things to a hammer shot, to a Sweet Revenge. All the replacement cylinders should work in both blasters. Replacement springs should work in both blasters. So very similar internally. You can definitely upgrade the cylinder and the spring. You can't get a metal kit for the hammer or trigger, unfortunately. I don't know why no one came out with one for the Sweet Revenge, but I do like the shell a lot. It's very sleek and actually a little smaller in terms of its circumference. So this is definitely a great option and looks great when hydro dipped. So the Nerf Hammer Shot is the number 3 pistol on this list. Let's move on to number 2. Now that we've moved on to the top 2 pistols, this was a tough choice. Between number 2 and number 1 was pretty darn difficult, and they are neck and neck. So keep that in mind, with the number 2 pistol being the Rebel Messenger. So this pistol has been my favorite for a very long time and just recently got bumped by a pistol. You probably know what it is, but this thing packs a punch. Even in stock form, this thing is about 80 FPS out of the box, which is very impressive, at least upper 70s. So that's really, really good for a stock Nerf blaster. Definitely at the top point for pretty much any blaster, let alone a pistol. So this thing's got a lot of power right out of the box. It has a smart AR system, which allows you to shoot out of any barrel, no matter which one's loaded. This blaster's gonna know which one has a dart in it, which is pretty cool. And this smart AR system actually works really well compared to some other smart AR blasters. So really like that about it. The dart fit in this blaster is really good, and it just has a very small, compact size, has 3 darts instead of 1 shot like a Night Finder or something like that, a Fire Strike. So this is kind of like that, but better because it has the ability to shoot 3 darts. Now, people can turn this into a powerhouse. It can hit really, really hard. It can be, I know my friend Bradley Phillips turned this into a 3-shot shotgun, holding 3 half-length darts in each barrel and shooting them one at a time. So that's pretty cool. So this thing has a lot of potential, and really the only downside to this blaster is the grip, but that is very easily fixed. As you can see by Nebula here, I have actually just filled in the grip with epoxy sculpt, and it makes it very, very comfortable, gives it a nice weight, and the shell, obviously being a Rebel shell, holds itself to hydro dipping very well. So really, really cool pistol, one of my favorites. When you can put in really beefy springs in this. This has, I think, a 10 kg turf spring. You could probably even get a 12 kg turf spring in there. So a lot of springs that fit the Retaliator will work in this blaster, which is really, really cool, and just makes it pack a punch. You could brass the barrels to make it even more powerful, and it just has a ton of mod potential, and it's very, very small. Once again, will fit in that same holster as the Hot Shock very nicely. So that is really, really cool and makes this the number 2 pistol on the list. If you want to see what I did to Nebula here, check the indentation above. Let's move on to number 1. The number 1 pistol, guys, is of course the Rival Kronos. And the Rival Kronos is a fan favorite already, just being released this year. It is a really, really good rival pistol and all-around pistol. This thing has a ton of mod potential, can hit really, really hard, even with rival rounds, can get up around 140 plus FPS, when putting in the right kind of spring. It is pretty hard to prime there, so you do want to add some sort of help to help you prime that back, but there's already several options for that out on the market. It is easily to top off because it has a 5-round internal magazine inside where it can hold 5 rival rounds and can be modified up to 6. And I've done that in a mod guide above if you want to check that out. But this thing can pack a punch when shooting rival rounds or darts. People have turned this into a single dart breech loading pistol similar to what I did to my Hot Shock, but this plunger tube is even larger than that. Similar size to a long shot, actually, so that's pretty cool. The way Nerf built this blaster is absolutely amazing to me. I think they did a great job. One of the best blasters, period, that Nerf has made in quite a while. So really cool blaster. And I even know people that have taken this and made it magazine dart fed to shoot half-length darts, and shooting those really hard. So that probably is on the to-do list for me someday down the road when I have time. But the Kronos is just a really sweet pistol, coming in the Phantom Core line or the Deadpool version. Either version, really cool. They both look great in my opinion, and I hope you enjoyed this top 5 Nerf pistols list. Let me know what your top 5 pistols are. If they're different from mine, tell me in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel and ring that bell for notifications so you can be alerted to when I post a video. It may be the only way you guys get alerted to me posting a video, as YouTube has not done a great job of promoting my content lately. If you're interested in a shirt, I have shirts for sale, so check out that merch in the link above. Smash that like button, and as always guys, peace out.